We've had this great decision in California. What do you think people here in Illinois should be doing to bring equal
Well,
decisions here?
yeah, here in Illinois, there's an openly gay member of the legislature, Greg Harris, and at first he introduced a bill in Springfield to legalize same-sex marriage, so-called gay marriage. Well, he got some flack about it, clearly, and he retreated to the position of civil unions. And now civil unions convey some rights, but it's inherently unequal.
It's separate but equal.
Yeah,
We
separate
know
but
the
equal.
history of that.
Yeah, as the Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court ruled several years ago when they legalized a same-sex marriage, they said a separate category for gays is inherently unequal. Just because it's separate. I mean, even if it had all the same rights, which civil unions doesn't have with marriage.
Well, and if anyone in my job, I've had to deal with trying to get equal health benefits for people with domestic partners here in the state of Illinois, where it's supposedly equal. If you have domestic partners, you have the same rights. Well, anyone who's ever tried to deal with Blue Cross Blue Shield or any other insurer with folks that employees that have got domestic partners is in for a rude awakening about just how equal the separate but equal is. I can tell you that from personal experience. And the fact of the matter is that lesbian and gay folks shouldn't be shunted off into this separate category where we have to can't use the M word, the marriage word that conveys some over 1,100 rights just at the federal level, according to the Government Accounting Office in a study a few years back. That's not including the several hundred rights that, depending on which state you live in, you would additionally get. We shouldn't deal with a separate but equal. And, for those who in the gay and lesbian community who are not interested in marriage, that's your right too. But this is about self-determination. This is about people being able to decide their own future. And for those in our community who want to get married, just as for people who in the non-gay community who want to get married, it should be their right to choose what they want to do.
So our position now is that we ought to put pressure on the legislators in Springfield to go for full marriage equality.
Right.
Enough of civil unions and domestic partnerships,
which don't even give you equality in truth. And we give credence to the right-wing arguments that somehow we're deserving of less than equal rights if we see civil unions as being the main way to go. I mean, before Vermont, before Massachusetts, one could make the argument that going for some form of marriage light in terms of civil unions or just domestic partners might have been okay. But I think we're really at the point now where we degrade ourselves if we see that moving for civil unions or domestic partners is really the way we need to go in Illinois, that we need to push for full legal equality and nothing less.
And even the governor of New York agrees with this position.
Yes.
David Paterson, the new governor of New York, has directed that marriages performed in California or Massachusetts or in Canada or any place else where they're legal should be recognized in New York State. So, let's agree with David Paterson, and let's do that here in Illinois.
Yeah.
Let's have equality.
And in Illinois, we should be able to push for it. I mean, the shameful thing about this is that we've got the entire state house completely dominated by a party which claims to be for equal marriage, not for equal, but for gay and lesbian rights. And yet, both in Massachusetts as well as in California, it's taken a Republican-dominated court to give us legal equality. And that's pretty ironic that the party that claims to speak for us has been so deficient in actually getting us the equal legal rights. I'd just like to close out the show again with a few announcements here with our fancy computer graphics here if we can get this to work. Our next meeting of the Gay Liberation Network, we meet the first Wednesday of each month, is going to be June 4th, the Gerber Library, 1127 West Granville. Please be sure to check that out. If you'd like to hear more about the Gay Liberation Network here on CanTV, please be sure to check out our next show, where we're going to have Bob again on the show here, along with GLN's Brent Holman Gomez. They're going to be talking about the history of Pride. And then finally, if you want to get involved in the Gay Liberation Network, just check out our website, which is www.gayliberation.net. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next week at the same time.
Good night.